What's good, everyone? This is Jamie and I'm back after an enforced 6-month hiatus with another video, my first FM19 video, and it's going to be an experiment with my local team, Solihull Moors. And you may have seen them on the BBC recently, managed by Tim Flowers, former Southampton and Blackburn goalkeeping legend of yesteryear. They did quite well in that fixture, I'm sure we can all agree, but we're looking at them here and we can see that they've got a media prediction of 20th in the Vanarama National League. Now, they've struggled with money in recent times in real life. The team is rivals to Redditch, Tamworth and Worcester and a few others as well, which aren't listed on here. And they play at Damson Park, which isn't too far away from where I live. The captain is Carl Storer. Let's have a quick look then at the facilities. You can see here that they play at Damson Park. They've got a 3,000 capacity stadium, which was built in 1995. They used to be known as Moor Green before they were merged with Solihull Borough to create Solihull Moors. And yeah, so basically what we've gone and done is we've gone into the team. We have given them a budget of, well, a bank balance of £1 billion, a transfer budget of £1 billion, and a £5 million wage budget. But not only that, I've gone in and given them a front-end sugar daddy to keep pumping that money into the team. And also I've made them to a professional status club from a semi-professional status club. Now I'm hoping that this will enable them to attract better players, put more investment into the club and facilities, and hopefully build a really good strong team which should hopefully see them rise through the ranks of the Football League and do really well. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to skip a season into the future and we're going to see just how well they get on in the National League. Okay, well, that is not what I expected. I kind of thought they'd fly through the National League in their first season, but despite the money that has been pumped into the team, they finished down in 19th position. They've narrowly avoided relegation. Well, I say narrowly, it's 11 points. That's quite a good margin, but they've predicted to finish 20th. They finished 19th, despite having all that money to spend. And they won 10 games from 46, 22 draws in there. There's a hell of a lot of draws going on. They're just not scoring enough goals by the look of it. Just 48 goals on the season for. Let's go in and have a look then at their personnel inbound. And you can see here that they've brought in Callum O'Neill on a free transfer, who now resides at Merthyr Tydfil. They also brought in Nathan Arnold, formerly of Boston, Salford and Lincoln. 31-year-old attacking midfielder, either side, ambidextrous foot-wise. A reasonable player that could definitely do a job on either flank. Harry Philby has come in and it won't let me click on him for some reason. Zane Westbrook is in from Coventry on loan. He's played 34 games in the centre of the park for Solihull Moors, scoring 6 goals. He's been a good signing for them. Ruben Bova, Spanish player, formerly with New York Cosmos before coming to Barnet. He now plays for Solihull Moors. He's played quite a lot throughout the season, 39 games for them, scoring 2 goals. David Titoff, a good signing, that 19-year-old on loan from Brentford. He's played 37 games for them. Decent player at that sort of level, particularly with that age down that right-hand side. Ryan Blair in on loan from Swansea, 23-year-old Scottish, formerly of Falkirk before moving to Swansea. A little bit slow, but in that sort of role there, the water carrying type role in the defensive midfielder, that doesn't really matter. But again, you know, they haven't really bought much. And Paul Rachubka, former Manchester United keeper, a long time ago now, before moving to various different clubs. Bit of a journeyman, really, Paul Rachubka, formerly with Kerala and Bury before that. But they brought him in. He's played 29 games, conceding 33 for Solihull Moors. Pascal Strujic on loan from Leeds, 25 games in the bag for them last season. And finally, another free transfer, Richard Chaplin. Now, I'm sure he used to play for West Brom, didn't he? Yes, he did. He played for West Brom back in the day. 34 years old, getting on now, advancing in age, formerly with Orange County. And he's come in for Solihull Moors, and he's done a reasonable job. He's only played the 7 games, which I think they brought him in towards the back end of the season, which they have. So, I mean, he's not going to get a fat lot of games. Going out the other direction, obviously, Callum O'Neill has gone to Merthyr. They brought him in and sent him out within a 4-month period, and Jamie Reckford has gone to Swindon on a free transfer. Is worth 62,000 now, so that's not a great bit of business on that score. Let's come back in another year and see if they have improved, what sort of players they've brought in, and if there have been any improvements whatsoever. Well, that's another year gone then, and Solihull Moors are still languishing in the Vanarama National League despite that heavy investment made into the club. Finished 17th in their second season, better than the previous season where they finished 19th. But I mean, I did expect a hell of a lot better than this, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at the staff, see if Tim Flowers is still in charge, and he's still in there as the manager. They don't seem to have made much changes. Let's have a look at the transfers then, shall we? And we can see here they've brought in a lot of free transfers. There's been a couple of players coming in from, teams like in League 2 and teams like Aldershot. So let's have a look at those first. So we've got Dan Jones coming in from Barrow, who has played 39 games for them thus far. A left-sided defender. Looks reasonable for that sort of level. Can't really argue with that. Did get relegated with Barrow the previous season. They've also brought in Sam Deering from Billericay. They've also brought in Josh Leyland from Aldershot. He's a Kenyan right-sided / central defender. He's played a fair amount of games for them, but don't seem to be making the sort of signings that I expected. Courtney Meppen-Walker, I'm sure I've seen him recently in the news for something to do with drink driving. He now plays for Solihull Moors. Various others. Curtis Weston in from Chesterfield, 33 years old, just to add a bit of experience into the team. Zavon Hines, 31-year-old attacking midfielder, right side, but also can play up top. He's played 15 games for them, scoring 2 goals. But I mean, on the whole, the business they've done there isn't the best, is it? I think they could do with needing to improve that. Joel Preston, 16-year-old regen in from TNS over in Wales. I mean, I really want to see them improve, to be honest. I mean, what we've seen so far has been quite poor. Let's have a look at the finances, shall we? Let's see if we can get back into the finance area. I've messed up here, haven't I? So let's have a... It's not letting me click on it for some reason. But yeah, I expected better. Their prediction was 16th. Let's come back in 3 years' time, see if they can get out of the National League. So that'll be 5 years in total for today's episode. So join me for that in a moment. Well, I have skipped another 3 years into the future. That's 5 in total, just to see what Solihull Moors have been up to. We're going to have a look at the league positions first of all, just because obviously we're 3 years in advance of last time, so we've got a few seasons to get through. So Solihull Moors finished in 12th position in the 2021 season, an improved positional finish there, considering they finished I think it was 19th and 17th in their previous 2 seasons. So that's a bit of improvement there. Still some way off where I'd expect them to be though, given that financial investment. The following season was an improvement again, up to 11th position. Some more points. I think they got another 5 or 6. Was it 6 points more? Yeah, it was 6 points more than their previous season. So that is good. Again, another improvement, but just not seen enough at this stage, really. I expected them to get out of this league quite simply. Maybe it'll be once they do get out of this league, they might just romp through the leagues. So now we're going to go to the most recent season, and we can see that amazingly, there's been a vast improvement in Solihull Moors this season, and they have managed to go up via the playoff spots, which is absolutely brilliant. You can see here that T. Pilcher scored in the 69th minute to get a win over Leyton Orient in the playoff final. Let's go and have a look at the transfers. Don't want to look at all the transfers, do we? Just want to look at Solihull Moors transfers now. Hopefully I've set this up so it goes to the one after where we looked last time. So the 2021 season, they brought in James Clark from Bristol Rovers for 5.75k. Harry Cornick from Lincoln for 27.5. A lot of free transfers in there. No one going out in the opposite direction. Will Keane. Now, you guys that used to follow my Steaua Bucharest series will remember the exploits of that man leading that front line for Steaua Bucharest in the Champions League was just fantastic. And it's sad to see him. He's obviously been downgraded in that period. And he's moved from York, from Hull City, to Solihull Moors. Henry Smith looks like a regen in from TNS as well. Sean McCloskey in from Bristol City, and Joe Edwards from Peterborough. And then there's another load of free transfers and the odd loan deal here and there. Now, the following season saw, again, some more free transfers. Toby Pilcher, the man that got that goal, is a regen, but it doesn't look too bad. It was a product of the Man City youth system, and he got that vital goal there for them, and he's actually done quite well off the bench for them, scoring 4 goals, 12 in total from 49 appearances over the 3 seasons. Corey Whelan has come in from Liverpool for 79,000. Tyler Reid from Dagenham and Redbridge. Ben Hinchcliffe from Luton, Dominic Bernard from Mansfield, Luke Joyce, Kyle Cameron, and Tariq Uwakwe, Ruben Sammet from Southport, and Reece Bennett in from Peterborough. So again, they haven't spent a fat lot. 475,000 is the total spend, and the most recent season, the season where we've just got promotion into the Football League. And we can see that we spent 725,000, but Dominic Bernard and Ben Hinchcliffe went in the opposite direction for small money. The biggest transfer so far, though, has been Adrian Purton, who's been bought in from Shrewsbury for £325,000. Now, he's a regen. He has not really played a fat lot. I mean, he didn't move till quite late in the season, but he looks the sort that is developing nicely, and I think he could do well for Solihull Moors. Kevin O'Connor in from Ebbsfleet. He would have been at Crewe, I believe, when the game started, possibly Fleetwood. Again, a solid sort of player down at this level. Can play in the left-back position, and he's played a lot of games for them. 43, has not missed a game all season. Well, obviously, he's missed 3 because you play 46, don't you? But you get what I mean. And, yeah, so they've brought in Shay Facey, a lot of free transfers in amongst them as well. Let's go and have a quick look at the squad then. We can see here, thanks to the Work the Space Ultimate Squad View, which is fantastic, by the way. You can go and get that over on his channel. They seem to be spending a hell of a lot of money here on wages. I mean, look at these. £79,000 per week. £79,000 per week for Sam Field. Sufyan Ahanach, brought in from Brighton. That's a lot of money to be £79,000 a week for a player that's worth 3.1k, and the stats aren't great either. That's a dodgy bit of business, that, if you ask me. Sam Field was at West Brom when the game started. A good, solid player. Again, 79k a week. I mean, I could probably legislate for that, but the other guy that we looked at first, Sufyan Ahanach, is just ridiculous. Caelan Hines, again, £51,000, was with Bournemouth. I mean, he's a reasonable player, but I don't think he's a £51,000 a week sort of player, I've got to say. Marcin Bulka, in from Chelsea, on 26.5k. He's played 107 games for Solihull Moors. And yeah, I mean, even Will Keane, 25.5 grand. I mean, he's not the best player, is he, nowadays, unfortunately. He hasn't scored a goal for them since he's arrived from York, and he struggled at York also. It's a shame to see him languishing down in these lower leagues. But yeah, I think on the whole, it's been a disappointing start to this experiment. I kind of thought they would just rocket through the leagues right from the very start. I didn't expect them to kind of stay at this sort of level for as long as they have. So in the next episode, we're going to come back in a few days' time, and we're going to look at the seasons up to 10 seasons in advance. So we're going to look at 6, we might look at 8, and then go to 10, do it in 2-year increments. But yeah, I mean, they seem to be spending a lot of money on wages. One last thing we will do, though, before we leave, is have a look at the staff, and we can see that they have replaced their manager, have Solihull Moors. They brought in Paul Heckingbottom to replace him. He was the manager of Scunthorpe before moving to Blackburn. He did have a brief spell at Leeds United before that as well. But yeah, I mean, I'd say that was an improvement on Tim Flowers, but I think they really need to start moving forward now. I think if they need to progress and get this money going in the right direction, they need to bring in a couple of new faces, a couple of established players, and hopefully the move into that League 2 will help facilitate that. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode today, guys. Remember to leave a like on the video down below if you have. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see some more Football Manager 19 content on the channel. But I've been Jamie for today. I hope you have a lovely Christmas, everyone,